Miguel and Holly Uncensored.
Catch it on the iHeartRadio app or anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Sorry, I played the wrong one. It's this one. Sorry.
Unscripted, unshackled, uncouth.
What you're about to hear is for more mature audiences only.
It's Miguel and Holly Uncensored.
Hey, we are back and we are live right now on the Miguel and Holly YouTube and Miguel and Holly Facebook page that I just learned we still had. I didn't know.
It's
All
fine.
right. All
It's
right.
fine.
As long as we go live on there once a day, and then whenever I get access back. Good news.
Yes.
If you've been following along the saga of my social media and the Miguel and Holly social media, I finally got access to be able to have Instagram on my phone, so I'm not using an iPad or an iPod to access Instagram.
That's a big deal. Like,
So-
I teared up when Miguel said this.
You legit cried, Holly.
I actually cried. Like,
you cried. Why did you?
Just-
We didn't talk about that. Why'd you cry?
you're going to like lose your shit when I say that.
Oh my God. Are you about to cry again?
Yeah. But wait, Miguel, I know what it feels like to be struggling. Like, whether that is with no access to social media that you love or with something else. And it's like, people don't really know how it feels to you, but it just hurts so much.
No, it's
I know
true.
what it's like. I know what it's like to feel like that. So I just really overwhelmingly cried when you said, y'all, it's fine. I'm just going through some things. It's no big deal.
Listen, but I mean,
I'm
even-
glad you're back.
I mean, to me, because social media is so much a part of my life and it always has been.
Yes.
And just for this job, and especially with us starting in a new city, and I feel like I've got my hands tied behind my back. And so it's like you're fighting blindfolded when you don't have that very important tool of social media to be able to get the word out about
I know.
your new show in a
Right.
new city.
I'll
So-
start posting on the Miguel and Holly Facebook page. Now, what was that face?
No, I'm just saying, what are you going to post?
I was going to say, it's not going to be like, I haven't had Facebook on my phone in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not that good at Facebook posting anymore.
No, it's fine.
But I'm going to post some stuff. I'll post like questions. And sometimes I'll just be like, hey, fam, what's everybody up to?
Hey, fam. Well, I mean, listen, we do post on the Hits 96.1 Instagram. So you can just take that, since I don't have access to Facebook, and just post it on the Facebook page.
I'll do that.
Yeah, so that's perfect. So yes,
Good.
you will have content. Listen, we plan on having the show. If you're a new Charlotte fan member, I always say that our show is 360. Is that right? 360?
That's fully all the way around.
Yes. So you
Yeah.
can, there's a touch point to our show from so many different places and
Yeah.
so many different social media networks.
Yes.
So we have a special guest that I have to get on the phone.
Okay.
But before I do, Holly,
Mhm.
and you're gonna have to tap dance a little bit while I get this person on the phone.
Okay.
But a fam member.
I must move my microphone.
No, I think somebody just went into another studio here in Charlotte,
Oh.
and it was just like really loud.
Oh.
They said, what would the title of your life music album be? What songs would be on the album that describes your highs and lows of your life's journey so far?
Well, I mean, damn, that's like a day-long thought process.
I
That's
know.
not like
It's not
2
something we're
minutes.
gonna listen. This isn't a segment on the show where we've got to be like, all right, Holly, have the hooks ready to go, have the
Right.
clips. We got to get to it in 3 minutes. This is just something to think about, and this isn't a question we're going to answer today.
All right,
but
what
I
was the
just-
question again? Life.
It was, what would the title of your life music album be? What
Okay.
songs would be on the album that describes your highs and lows of your life's journey so far?
All right. What
so
is the
just-
title of your life's music album? Let me think about that. You
Yeah.
gonna go put the person on the phone?
Yep,
I
I'm
don't
gonna
even
let
know
you
who we're talking to.
Tap dance for a second.
That's tough because obviously it's different now than it would have been like 3 weeks ago than it would have been 6 months ago, than it would have been 3 years ago, and all of that. So I guess you would have to go with what it is now. But I always feel Laura Top Life said the struggle is real. That's probably one for all of us, right? Like maybe we all just meet on the struggle bus. That could be a title. Like, let's all meet on the struggle bus. Or I don't know. I just feel like something that encompasses the fact that we all are going through something, and maybe let's try some compassion. I don't know, that doesn't even make sense for a damn music album. Whatever. I would have to think of a lot of different songs though. That would be the easier part, I think, than titling it, because titling it, that's very. It's only like you get one sentence or one couple things, but the songs themselves, I would have dozens. It would be harder to figure out which ones weren't in it than to figure out what's in. Because man, music speaks. I'm done tap dancing.
I know. Sorry, I'm gonna try. They're not answering.
Oh, that's okay. Well, let's talk about this real quick. So, as far as the Miguel and Holly Facebook page does go, I do want to start posting, but also I'm going to be the only one that's like an admin managing, commenting. Same thing with the Platypus Posse page. I do go in every day and I like approve people. I do go in every day and respond to messages on the Miguel and Holly Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that.
Are they still coming in?
Yeah, it's like a trickle. It's not a ton. I would say on average, like 3 messages a day. So people are still messaging, but there's not like a avalanche. Exactly. But just so you know, that page still exists. I am at the helm. That's a dangerous situation. But you can still go onto the Platypus Posse Facebook group page. And if you don't know about that, just type in Platypus Posse. It'll pop up. Like there's not more than one of those. But that's a good place for like discussions and questions, whatever. When the podcast finally came back, I know that several people shared that, oh, the podcast is back. So I think that was a good way for people to sort of rally again.
Right.
Because I think a lot of people are just like, well, it's not the same. And I run into a lot of people in Tampa/St. Pete that are like, I don't know what to do. Like a lot of people don't know what to do. And I feel that because it's like you want to still listen to our old radio station and support Scott. But again, it's not the same. I get it. And then thank you for supporting him, though, because he's doing such a good job. And you're like, well, I do want to listen to you guys, but like, how do you do it? Like, what do you do? Got to download the iHeart.
Got him.
Oh, okay. Well, download the iHeartRadio app, listen through there. And then I know that's not quite the same either, but there's options.
Absolutely. Thank you, Holly, for tap dancing. I appreciate it. You're so good at it.
That's debatable, but go ahead.
So what I wanted to do is sort of what we were doing in Tampa is having guests on the podcast of things that we're interested in. And I thought something that I've been doing a lot since we've been here in Charlotte is all of the food Instas and TikToks that they have here in Charlotte. There are so many. And now like that's my explore page all the time since moving here to Charlotte is like all the different foods. Which is one of the reasons why I started my weight loss program again, because there's just so much good food.
A lot to eat.
And so one of the TikToks or one of the Instagrams that I've seen a lot about is where to eat Charlotte. And Miranda is at the helm of it. And so I asked her if she would come on the podcast and sort of chat with us. So welcome to the podcast, Miranda.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Wonderful.
So
wonderful. So my name is Miguel. This is Holly.
Hi.
We just started here in Charlotte a few months ago. So we're still getting used to the city and getting to know everybody. And so your Instagram was one of the first ones that popped up. And I was like, we got to talk to Miranda because I'm so curious about where you're from, how you got this whole Instagram started with all the delicious food here. So where are you from, Miranda?
I'm originally from 20 minutes outside of Columbus, Ohio. OH, baby.
Ohio!
Oh, wow. So
I'm actually literally wearing an Ohio State shirt today, Miranda, that says OHIO on it. That's not a lie
No
whatsoever.
way.
Yeah, sure am.
How about that?
Yeah, I'm saying. Well, that's really cool. Well, what brought you to Charlotte?
So I played volleyball all throughout high school, and I was actually I wasn't good enough to play at OSU because I'm not that tall. I'm tall, but I'm not that tall. So I was looking at outside schools. So I actually landed on the University of North Carolina, Wilmington. Super random. I didn't know anyone there. So I went to school there and played volleyball. And then my journey led me into the service industry while I was in college. Very, very grateful for that because I stopped playing volleyball after my second year, actually. So I needed to channel that adrenaline and competitive energy. So I got into the service industry and served at some of the best restaurants in Wilmington, some of the most high volume restaurants. So I served for probably like 7 years. And then in 2018, I just felt Wilmington, I loved it so much, but it's definitely one of those beach towns that are a little more laid back. And I felt like I wanted to change. So I moved to Charlotte in 2018.
Wow.
So how was that transition?
Right.
Transition was good. I went to the Charlotte, didn't know anyone there. I got a corporate job because I thought that was what I wanted to do. So I worked for a payroll company. I got the job before I left Wilmington. I was like, I have to have a set job when I get there. So I worked for a payroll company for a total of 30 days.
Oh,
30 days. That's a payroll company.
Oh,
and I
wow.
just was like, this isn't it for me. So I went back into serving, but it was hard at first because, like I said, I didn't know anyone, so I was navigating everything on my own.
now
That's so difficult.
and it seems like though you've done a great job of navigating it because your Instagram, Where to Eat Charlotte, has 55,000 followers on it. So you've done something in making friends here. Like, how did that
Well,
Instagram start?
Yeah, so when I graduated Wilmington in 2015, I was still serving, but my ex at the time had said, Miranda, I know you love food so much. We dine out so much. We're literally out in the Wilmington restaurants all the time. We'd live there together. And he goes, I know you're serving. I know you love food. My dad works for a seafood distributing company based out of Charlotte called Inland Seafood. He said, why don't you try working with him for a little bit? And I was like, honestly, I'm here for it. So I would travel back and forth to Charlotte for I think I was going every other week for 6 months to go. It's actually in Noda, like the place is in Noda, and they sell to restaurants. So they literally call up accounts and restaurants every day and they ask them what seafood they need for the next day, whether it be seafood or beef or like frozen products, mushrooms, caviars, cheeses. So we sold everything. So I still lived in Wilmington working remote for the seafood company. And that's kind of where I learned a little bit about the Charlotte food scene. And because when I would come and visit, I would always dine at a restaurant every night. And I'd be like, hey, guys, I'd work in the fish house all day with the guys and a couple girls too. And I would say, hey, like, what account should I dine at tonight? Give me somewhere good. Hey, go to Good Food on Mumford. It's at Park Road. It's one of our accounts. Go check them out. So beforehand, I was kind of already dabbled in the Charlotte food industry scene. I didn't know a ton though. But when I moved here, I had a couple accounts under my belt that I knew we ran. I had a couple places I already knew that were good. So the idea of starting the page happened probably like a couple months before I moved to Charlotte. I was like, everyone asked me in Wilmington, literally, all I posted was food. All I did was food. I was submerged in the industry as a server. I served all summer before I moved to Charlotte. And everyone used to ask me, they're like, hey, where do we eat in Wilmington? I get on Yelp and I get on these websites and I still have no idea where to go. And I would rattle off the best places in Wilmington. And then I was like, I feel like I don't know who started the idea. My ex had maybe brought it up. I was like, this could be a really good idea to start in Charlotte. And the day that I moved to Charlotte, it was on my birthday. I had made the post. I went to Anisio Pizza. I'd taken a picture of myself there with some pizza, and the first post went live on October 1st, 2018.
Wow.
And it just took off?
Yeah.
Man. So,
yeah. Yeah.
So how does that work? Do you just pick a new restaurant and you're like, all right, I'm going to go? Or do you call them and do you set something up? Because I mean, looking at your Instagram, because of course I feel like I was stalking you as I'm like salivating over all of the food posts you have on here.
I know, they look so delicious.
I mean, just like you have one, I guess there's a new biscuit place that's open, Vicious Biscuit.
They're not
And
open yet. They're open next week.
next
So,
week,
but
oh
yeah,
my gosh,
yeah.
like that chicken biscuit, girl. I just want to like roll around in it. It just looks so
Mhm.
good.
Yeah.
So do you have relationships with these restaurants?
I do now. I didn't before. Um, it was a journey. I was just basically, wasn't getting paid, growing a following from zero. I would basically, it would be a part-time thing for me. So after I quit the payroll company, I went into serving again. So I worked at Kid Cashew, and I basically served to, pay my bills. And then I had a little flexibility to go dine at these restaurants. I'm paying my money to dine. So what I would do is I'd go in, I'd ask the server, be like, hey, what's a couple great dishes on the menu? My name's Miranda. I just started a page called Where to Eat Charlotte. I'd pay for everything. And then I would take pictures of the food. And then I would bring a friend to take my photo.
Wow.
And it would be whenever I could make it happen, essentially. I just remember literally going out of my way. I didn't have much money at the time at all. I struggled really, really hard when I moved here for a while, for like two years, hard.
Mhm.
And especially just not knowing which restaurants were going to pay my bills, which restaurants were high volume, low volume. And I would just go in when I could and try and develop these relationships. But I think it was after probably my second year, I grew 10,000 followers in a year, and then I grew 20,000 in two, and then so on. We're on year 3.5 right now. And I would get reached out to by restaurants. First it was, hey, we saw your page. We love your page. We'd love for you to do a feature on us in exchange for a meal. And I'd be like, heck yeah. Like, I was genuinely, I was so
Yes.
excited. I was like, wait, you're going to give me food for me to take photos of this? That's crazy.
So cool.
You're like, I'm going to get
going on?
mozzarella sticks for posting about this? What?
I love that. I would be the exact same way. Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
But then am I assuming that after a while you're like, wait a minute, these mozzarella sticks ain't going to put gas in my car to get to the restaurant?
That's exactly the realization I had. It just became to where they would reach out, and I would want to do it, and I would say yes. And then I was like, you know what? I think I can start charging them. So the first time I did a post, I threw it out there. I just threw it out. I was like, it's $150. And they said yes. And I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, $150. You get
That's
a
so
Venmo
cool.
me or cash? And I would take cash. I'd be like cash or, whatever worked at the time.
Right.
And it evolved from there. It really did. I ended up trying to get another corporate job. I was like, I can't serve anymore. Like, this isn't working. I need stability. So I got into a corporate job. I found myself being there for 9 months and literally glued to my phone the entire time. Sorry, guys. Sorry, company I worked for, but I thought I was locked in the beginning, but I was so not locked in. But it would be so hard for me because I'd end up having these shoots. I call them shoots. So, but the best time to go in a restaurant is during slow hours, which is not right after work at 5 o'clock.
Right.
Correct.
So I was in this sticky situation where I work my corporate job all day, and then I have to literally sprint to the restaurants before they get busy so I could do this shoot. And then, I was just like, you know what? I worked there for 8 months, and I was like, you know what? I got to go back to serving because it provides me the flexibility. And I started serving at Indaco once again, always back to serving. Super grateful for that. And 2019, I started serving at Indaco. That was my last serving job, and they had just opened. They're over in South End. Love the restaurant, love the team.
So good.
And then I finally transitioned out to running restaurant accounts and running Where to Eat Charlotte, probably like 8-9 months after.
Wow.
Now, when you do this, because the first thing that popped in my mind, so like restaurants are paying you to come and like take pictures and post about their stuff. What if you don't like it?
Oh.
That's such a good question. In the beginning, I would maybe try and make it work. Typically, I'd been to a lot of the restaurants. I'd be like, I needed the money. Like I did. I was like, I need the money.
Right.
I'll make it work. We'll focus on this cocktail they have or whatever.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it often, to be honest. I wouldn't do it often. But there were times where I felt like I was sacrificing my brain. Like, I'm very honest about food, and I only want to bring my followers to the best restaurants. But that evolved over time, And that was a big learning lesson that I had to learn, was that I'm playing the long game here, and my followers are top priority. So if I'm posting about a restaurant that I don't agree with and that I truly wouldn't go to, what are they going to trust me? No, they're going to lose their trust. So I quickly realized that it's a long game. So before, if a restaurant, I only post about restaurants I would go to. End of story, without a doubt. Won't post about a restaurant that the food is not good or you're going to get a bad experience. And, take that with a grain of salt. Literally, restaurants right now are so slammed and so understaffed.
Exactly.
So, like, to the max. And that's a whole other thing. I'm actually going to make a reel about it and, like, really try to educate people on that. But if a restaurant reaches out, say you guys have a restaurant and you want to be featured on Where to Eat Charlotte, which is my page, you would say, hey, Miranda, what does this look like? And I would say, well, first step is I need to come and try the food because I haven't been there. So I'll set up a time to go in and actually dine and try probably 4 or 5 dishes on the menu and then cocktails. And if all goes well, then we work together. And I already know what you're going to ask. It's happened twice where I've had to say no.
Oh, were they like, well, fine, get out of here?
You're like, hey, nobody likes you anyway.
I had to word it really like strategic, but yeah, it was hard for me. Plus, like, I'm navigating this whole thing on my own.
Right.
I'm like, who am I to say the food's not good? But also, like, someone's got to do it.
Right.
Someone's got to do it. I feel like you are Charlotte's Guy Fieri. Like, you're just going over here eating delicious stuff. Like, I'm not looking at Guy Fieri to, like, lie to me when I'm watching Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. Like, I would, like, take that man's spiky blonde hair and shove it, like, into a wall. I'd be like, how dare you tell me something wrong? So, like, that integrity that you have is so great. So, I mean, listen, I think everybody understands, like, everyone's tastes are not the same. Everyone's one-time restaurant experiences are not going to be the same. But I think that overall, especially if someone's been following your page for a while and they start to trust you and they know who you are, and they see you pop up, there's that relationship that forms, even though it's just on social media, and they get to know you and feel like you're a friend. They can trust what you say.
100%. You just said it is. And the followers who have been with me since the beginning, they've watched this journey. It's literally, I'm a person behind this account. Like, I'm literally changing and growing as a person. And therefore, they've watched that happen. Like, I didn't know what was going on when I first started. You know what I mean? Like, and for those who stuck with me and were like, she may have made a couple of mistakes, but, like, at the end of the day, like, look what's come of it. And, look how many businesses that not just me, I'm not the 1,000 heads going to the restaurants. Look how many businesses we've impacted. Like, it literally took me, like, a couple of weeks ago, I was like, wait, this is insane. We're, like, changing the dynamic of businesses. Yeah. How powerful is that? It takes a minute it's taken me a minute to step into it. But I'm stepping into it because it's not about me anymore. Right. It's about the businesses, and it's about having this platform to direct people and just to highlight people who are good at their craft. That's what I love doing. Having a voice to stand up and be like, these people that plug away at their craft that may not love social media, like, I'm highlighting them and showcasing them to you guys.
Right.
And I really love that. That's one of the great things about social media. I mean, because it has a lot of negativity that social media puts out there, but it also has the opportunity to, one, have someone like you create their own career, their own space, but then also give a voice to some of these restaurants that don't have the budget to have a social media person that knows how to do it well, and who just don't have the time to showcase their stuff. And so you being able to help with this platform you're on, like you said, it's really helping. And especially after everything with the pandemic, because we weren't here to see how the businesses in Charlotte were impacted, but where we came from in Tampa, even though it's Florida and we weren't closed for that long, it's still impacted, and it's still impactful because of the tourists and stuff like that. It was still hard. So that's really commendable that not only are you taking it seriously, but then helping out these businesses. And I just saw a quote about this the other day, how, we'll get down on ourselves. If you post a picture on your Instagram and you get, like 100 likes or 50 likes, and we're like, God, I really wish I got to 200 likes. And you're like, wait a minute. Think about 50 people standing in the lobby of one of those restaurants because of what you said, or something, Holly, you posted, and 100 people were standing inside the lobby at the radio station. Like, that's a lot of eyeballs.
That's a lot of, like, if you try to think about it in real people terms, it's a lot of freaking people.
It is. It's insane. So you're doing some really awesome work, Miranda.
Thank you. It means a lot because, you know, everyone's like, how'd you, I think I get so wrapped up. I'm very head down. I'm very in, like, just sometimes I don't zoom out, and my friends will be like, hey, Miranda, like, I think you need to genuinely, like, zoom out sometimes and see what you've done here. I'm just so, once you get in the thick of it, you're like, yeah, this is reality now.
Right.
But
Yeah.
like, take a zoom out and be like, look what you've created. And I'm like, wow, like, this is really cool. You know what I mean? And it gives you
Absolutely.
the motivation to go it bigger. But I think sometimes we get a little, like, in the everyday, and people will be like, wait, how did you get started? This is the coolest job ever. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I just kind of, I don't even know, but I did the work.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
and
you
I
did
look
it.
back on it now. I did the work. People didn't see that work that I was putting in. People didn't see me struggling off from my corporate job to go order lunch somewhere with the money I didn't have just so I could put a story up on Where to Eat Charlotte.
Now, Miranda,
Like,
I want you, before we let you go, to give some advice for someone who's listening to the podcast, or like we're live right now on YouTube, and they're like, you know, I'm sitting at my desk listening to this, watching to this, and I love whatever it is. Maybe if someone is in Panama City or Tampa or wherever, or San Diego, and they're listening, they're like, I want to do this. I think this would be great. What advice would you give to someone that's super scared about taking that leap of faith for whatever that passion project is? What would be your advice?
I love this question. I just got the chills, like, all over my body. I just love the passion in your voice. Like, it's so cool what you guys are even doing. But I would just give the advice that once you focus on the value that you're providing, don't focus on comparing yourself. Don't compare yourself. And I know people say that. I don't scroll. I don't look. I'm focused on the value. Provide value, and literally the rest takes care of itself. So ask yourself, okay, what do people need right now? Do they need restaurant recommendations? Okay. What would I want to know? What would I want to know about a restaurant? What are the things I ask myself before I go to a restaurant? Is it kid friendly? Is it, you know, how much is it? How much is it going to cost? What's the vibe of the restaurant? You know, what kind of cuisine is it? All the things that you would want to know, all of that value, that's the work that you put out. So do that, showcase, and always do what you love, obviously, but, you know, just take that value and then put it into a post. And it's not going to be perfect the first one. Literally, it's going to evolve over time. It's going to change so much, but the more you put out, the more that you have to look at to see what you need to change and to see what does well. I call it paralysis by analysis. And I get involved with it too, because everyone is comparing themselves so heavily to what is on social media that we're paralyzed because that's the standard. Take away the standards, focus on the value, and literally just post what you think is valuable. And I guarantee you it'll evolve over time.
Miranda, Where to Eat Charlotte on Instagram. Thank you so much for joining us. We really, really appreciate it.
No, I appreciate you guys. You guys are fun. Wow. You guys are fun.
Well, now you'll have to check out our show in the morning on Hits 96.1 or the podcast, which everywhere you listen to podcasts, just Miguel and Holly Uncensored.
Uncensored. Love it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Miranda. Have a great weekend.
All right, you too. Have a good Memorial Day weekend, guys. See ya.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
I love that.
Yeah. That's really cool. What a neat gig to invent for yourself.
And because I follow so many of these accounts here in Charlotte about the food scene here, and I'm like, there are people obviously behind these accounts. So I'm just so fascinated how you get into that. And oh, damn it, I forgot. And she probably wouldn't answer this question. I went to ask her what's her favorite restaurant, but she probably wouldn't answer that.
I wouldn't. Not if that's my job. Like, I'm not trying to ruin anything.
Right. Wow. So
Man,
yeah,
I like that. That's really cool.
so I want to start trying to have different, and not just in the food scene, because obviously that's who I follow the most on Instagram from Charlotte, or the food people.
Mhm.
But then some of the other ones, there's this one guy I talked about on the air the other day, who has like, I want to say 500,000 followers on TikTok, and I'm like,
Oh yeah, that's right. You tell me.
the hot guy. I'm
Told us.
like, what do you do? Like, what do you do? I'm just so
I don't
curious.
know.
Like,
Just a thing. I don't know.
it's just so fascinating, people with these sort of social media jobs. Like, and I just saw what's her name? Charlie, the like one with the most followers on TikTok.
Oh yeah,
Um
Charlie
Demacchio?
D'Amico. Wait a second.
D'Amico?
Hold on.
What is it?
I can't remember it. D'Amelio.
Charlie D'Amelio. They have
That's
a
it.
show on Hulu now.
Oh, they do?
They do. I saw it as I was watching Candy with Jessica Biel yesterday.
Yeah.
There was a promo for it, and I was like, good for them. Like, of course I'm jealous.
Of course.
But I'm like, the fact they took stupid dances on TikTok, built it into millions of followers, and now a reality show on Hulu.
Yeah, exactly. This is how things happen.
Wow, so fascinating. Holly, what do you have coming up for the weekend?
I don't know. I'm really glad that I get an extra day to decompress and sleep. I'm just going through a lot right now. I gotta like bring Maya to some dance practices. I gotta do some stuff with my mom. Like I'm just going through stuff. And then I'm sleeping. Like I just want to sleep. And the only other big thing I want to do this weekend, like I just don't have any big plans, which I know I sound like a womp, but I'm in it right now. So I am womp. I'm going to start Stranger Things.
Yes.
Is it all come out in one big clump, or
No,
they
two.
do the?
There's going to be
There's only 2?
7 episodes. No, there's 7 episodes, I think, this time around. And we're live on YouTube. If you
No,
know
I know,
this.
but all at once or like every week?
No, all at once. It's because it's Netflix.
Oh, okay.
They'll come out all at
Yeah.
once, and then they have the
And then in
second
July.
half in July. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that, but I wasn't sure if it was one a week because I know Hulu does one a week, and I was confused. So I'm gonna watch some Stranger Things this weekend, and that's about it.
Nothing
What about
wrong
you?
with that. I'm doing okay. So real talk. So I'm doing stage announcements tonight for Florida, at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, which is
sounds
where there's a
awesome.
NASCAR race.
I know. I'm
So
jealous.
I mean,
Sad.
I'm nervous because I legit don't know what I'm announcing, like what I'm talking about. And I just don't want to look stupid. And so I've been trying to read up about the event, the history of it, and like just to try to wrap my brain. But I feel like I just won't truly understand until I get there. But I
Right.
just legit don't want to look stupid on stage
I
and
don't
like
think you
say
will.
something. Cause I'm like, I don't know what I'm announcing and what I'm talking about. And I'm like, I don't even know. Like, what do you wear to a NASCAR race?
Just wear your clothes. You're not going to the race.
But it's at the Speedway. So do people
Yeah.
wear like if I'm going to a Panthers game, or I wear a jersey, like you wear something with the like what do you
You just wear what you're wearing right now. Like, what are you wearing right now? You have a
Oh
polo
no, I'm
on?
not wearing this. Now it's a black shirt and my joggers
well,
on.
Wear one of your bright shirts. Just wear a bright shirt and some pants. That's it. I don't think you have to do anything crazy. Like, I know you're nervous because in your head, NASCAR is like, let's just be honest. That's what you think, because that's what people who don't know anything about NASCAR think. And there's nothing wrong with that because let's be honest, mostly, like, I would say generally people that are NASCAR fans are also like sort of country music fans, are also sort of like putting a big wide label on it.
Right.
But it's more than that. Like anything else in life, it's more than that. And mostly people just go there to get drunk and have fun. And that's anybody that's going there to have a good time. And especially I think this is like a family thing, like, right, leading up to it, like the Speed Street stuff.
Yeah, so from what I read, Speed Street used to be in Uptown, and then it had to close down obviously during the pandemic, and so they're trying to retool it to make it more modern. And so that's why they have like the musical acts and it's at the Charlotte Motor Speedway and whatnot. That's from what I read this morning.
Okay. I think you're going to be just fine. And you're going to find that it's just fine. Like we've been living in Florida where there's just an interesting mix of all sorts of people for so long now. It's going to look very similar to that. Like it's kind of every man for himself, like doing your own thing, just having fun. There's a Flo Rida is freaking there. Like just wear your normal clothes. Like I don't know what you think you should be wearing.
I don't know. I've never been. It's like someone asking about Pride. I don't know. They're like, what do I go? How do I'm like, oh, it's fine. You just wear. It's like, I don't know.
Well, since this is the first one, just wear like something normal. Like don't go overboard or underboard. That's a word.
I'm going to wear my Dale Earnhardt Jr. shirt.
Okay, we're not doing that. No, we're not. You're just going to wear your normal, like a normal event outfit and be open. And then they'll give you the copy points. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
They'll tell you what to say. I know you're nervous. But like, it will be okay. I do know that. And you're so good at being personal anyway. All you have to do is laugh.
She said, just like laugh.
That. Just laugh like that. Everybody will be like, this guy is so nice.
Look at this crazy black man on stage. He looks funny.
I just smile a lot whenever I go somewhere new. And I have a very earnest look on my face. That's my secret. You ever want to know my secret? Smile a lot and look earnest. Like you're encouraging. You see me? Like you're encouraging people to want to creep into your space. So you just smile and you go, like you look, it's the physical manifestation as if I were to verbally say, tell me more. Like I'm not saying tell me more, but my eyes and my face are saying, tell me more.
You kind of look like Charlotte from Sex and the City when you do that look. She just always has that look of like, oh, hi, I'm surprised that I'm here. Hey.
It works. I don't know. Maybe I'm actually a Charlotte in real life. Who knew?
Oh my gosh. So back to the question before we end the podcast today. Let me go back to that message. Oh my gosh. There's so many pictures on my phone. What would the title of your life music album be? What songs would be on the album and describe your highs and lows of your life's journey so far? Like I said, we're not going to go into a deep discussion about it, but just sort of on the surface. And you can put this too, you watching on the YouTubes or the Facebooks. You can leave your comment there.
Miguel, what would yours be? I'm asking you because I don't know. And I hate to leave it like that, but I'm gonna be honest, it feels like too much pressure. I don't know.
I think mine would be something to the effect of, I know this sounds super corny, but something like a cooler version of Dreams Do Come True.
Okay. That's perfect. That's perfect for you.
Because like literally the other day before Abe got back, it was last weekend. I had a glass of wine and I was on the balcony of my apartment and I thought about being at Georgia Southern. And I remember driving to my morning show in college and I think we started at 7 a.m. And it was probably because knowing my overachieving ass got there at like 5 a.m. to prep for the show. And I remember driving and parking at the radio station and I had my Mitsubishi Mirage that didn't have air conditioning. The CD player had stopped working by then. And I was like, I wonder if I'll ever get to like drive to a real radio station in like a big city and like, what will my life be like in 10 years? What will my life be like in 15 years? And at that moment in time, this was probably February of 2007 before I knew I had a job or anything after college.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I'm probably going to end up back in Atlanta, probably trying to
nobody
apply for
knew.
CNN.
It's hard to know,
Right. So I thought about that, Miguel, and if he could see me in my apartment in Uptown Charlotte on the balcony looking at Uptown, all these big buildings and everything, and he'd be like, okay, bitch, you better get it. But how did you get there, girl? And I'll be like, don't worry about it. Don't
be like,
don't worry about what we had to do to get there.
It's fine.
Just know that we're having a good time now.
Right.
So it would be something about dreams coming true.
Okay.
What would yours or the theme of it be? Like, you don't have to have a name, but just a theme. And obviously, this is not the end of the story. This is right now where we are in life.
Right. That's what when I was part of my tap dance was like, well, it's so confusing because you don't know, like, it's different now than it was 3 weeks ago, 3 months ago, 3 years ago.
Right.
It's different.
Right.
But like trying to amass my whole life. I'll go with something along the lines of this, like the cycle breaker. I think that might be my lot in life.
I like it.
So breaking generational traumas and cycles and just trying to learn and change things and get people to see different perspectives. I think that, I don't know. I don't have a good grasp on any details to give you, so I'm just going to stick with that.
Holly, there's no right or wrong answer.
But I feel like I have to have it, or otherwise I've failed. I'm panicking right now because I feel like I'm failing.
I can see it. I'm like, there's no right or wrong answer. This is not a test.
I'm failing.
This is not a bit that's rated by anybody. This is literally our podcast that probably 3 people will listen to.
God damn it.
I do have to give a shout out real quick on the Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
This woman right here, Miss Easter, I guess I'm an adult now. I can call her Peggy, but she'll always be Miss Easter to me. Her son, Jonathan and I were friends in high school. And in the high school picture that I've probably posted every year during prom season, we all went to prom together in one big group.
Mm-hmm.
And the story I always tell about how I ate a bunch of Oreos, like we weren't the group of kids that got drunk. We went back to my friend Jonathan's house and I ate a whole sleeve of Oreos or 2 sleeves of Oreos.
And you got sick.
I got sick. I was at Miss Easter's house.
Well, okay. That's fine. And God bless you, Miss Easter.
So thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, she said her comment was so happy for you, Miguel. You achieved your dream. Thank you. All right. Well, we are done. I have to wait till next week. I got the craziest message on LinkedIn that I've been waiting to talk about, but we've run out of time. We've got to go. So I'm gonna have to save it for next week.
Yeah, I might be late picking my kid up. We gotta go.
That's right. Holly, what's your social media?
Radio Holly on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram.
Mine is Miguel Fuller, MiguelFuller. Please give us a 5-star rating wherever you listen. If you don't have a 5-star rating for us, then just don't do anything. But thank you for listening.
Just shove off.
Absolutely. And also, if you go to the iHeartRadio app, type in Miguel and Holly, and you'll see we have a whole channel for the full show, for Blown Off, The Love Test, Try It Tuesday, radio blogs. You can basically binge listen to everything that we do. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. And I cannot wait until next Wednesday when I can tell you the literal craziest message I've ever received on LinkedIn from this random woman from Orlando.
Why would you not share it Monday?
Because we won't be here Monday.
We're not here Monday.
Yes.
Okay, Wednesday.
So it'll be Wednesday. All right. Have a great week.
Miguel and Holly Uncensored.
Catch it on the iHeartRadio app or anywhere you listen to podcasts.